Hi guys, the topic for this video is solving equations involving powers part 2. Um, just quickly, there's a few starter questions here involving powers and roots. Please pause the video, give it a go, then press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, just giving the answers now. 2 squared is 4, square root of 16 is 4. So these are the answers for the first 6 questions. Finally, we need to arrange these in order, starting with the smallest. So the best approach for this would be the first number is 2 squared, the next one is a cube root, the next one is a cube number, and the last one you would have to square root. So work out what each one is. So 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. The cube root of 27 is going to be 3 because 3 cubed is 27. 1 cubed means 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1. And the square root of 25 is 5 because 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Okay. So now it makes it much more easier to order the numbers. Okay. All right. The topic is solving equations involving powers. Let's look at a few examples. So first example here, I have x squared minus 20 is equal to 5. I need to solve this equation. When it says solve this equation, what it's asking me to do is work out what that variable x is equal to by itself. Okay, I don't want nothing next to the x. So how could I go about this? So on the left hand side, I've got x to the power of 2 minus 20. Now the best approach for this is to get rid of the minus 20 first. So how can I get rid of minus 20 is by doing the inverse operation. What is the opposite of subtracting 20? It would be adding 20. But remember, whatever you do on one side, you would have to do it to the other side as well. Because it's an equation, you have to keep it balanced, okay? So what am I left with? You're left with x squared is equal to 25, because 5 plus 20 is 25, okay? Now I need to solve the equation. I haven't answered the question yet. I want to find out what x is by itself. I don't want that x squared, okay? How can I get rid of squared? What's the opposite of squaring? It is square root. So I'm going to square root both sides, okay? So the square root of 25 is going to be x is equal to 5. Is that my final answer? No, it's not. There's one more. So x is equal to 5 or what else? X is equal to minus 5. Why? Because 5 times 5 is 25, but minus 5 times minus 5 is also 25. Please make a note of this and copy down this example. Okay, let's look at one more example. I have 3x squared plus 4 is equal to 31. This time my x squared has a coefficient, it has a number in front of it, and I also have plus 4 on the left hand side. Now, I can get rid of the 3 first, but I would always recommend to start off with dealing with the plus 4 because it's always much more easier to deal with adding and subtracting first before multiplying and dividing. So how can I get rid of that plus 4? I will subtract 4 on the left hand side. And remember the rule when solving equations, whatever you do on one side, you'd have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. What am I left with? 3x squared is equal to 27. Okay. Now, I still haven't answered the question. I need to solve what x is by itself. What can I do? I can get rid of that coefficient, that number 3 in front of the x squared. How can I do that? Well, you have to ask yourself, what does 3x squared mean? It means 3 times x squared. So x squared is being multiplied by that number 3. So what is the opposite of multiplying by 3? You'd have to divide by 3. Okay? All right, that's how we can get rid of it, by doing inverse operation. So whatever you do on one side, remember what we said? When solving equations, you have to do it to the other side. So 3x squared divided by 3, well, the 3's will cancel out, and you're only left with x squared, okay? And 27 divided by 3 is 9, okay? Now x squared is equal to 9. At this stage here, it's just one more step, and it's fairly straightforward. Well, x squared is equal to 9. I need to square root both sides, okay? Because I want to work out what x is by itself. So square root in both sides, okay? Luckily 9 is a square number, so if I square root 9, I'm going to get a whole number, not a third. So x is going to be equal to 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, or 3 squared is equal to 9. So the square root of 9 is 3. Or what else? Think about it. X is also equal to minus 3. Why? Because minus 3 times minus 3 is also 9. Because negative times negative gives me positive. Okay? Please make a note of this and copy down this example. Now, what I would like you to do is, there are a few questions here. Pause the video, give it a go, then press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, these are the answers. Quickly mark them if you got it correct, and correct them please if you made a mistake. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.